Good morning. Welcome back to Noir Aunties. We're back like we never left. I'm Auntie D, and this is Auntie Love. And we have a lot of things to tell you. There's a lot that's happened since we were last here. We want to come back at this particular moment. Presumably, government shutdown is going to end today, but I hope that y'all had a nice, good look. We're not going to necessarily fuss. It ain't on our agenda, but the stuff that we told you was going to happen with Project 2025, we had halftime. Half of it has been enacted. So even if the government reopens, I hope that we've had an opportunity to realize just how serious we're going to talk about today. Certain people are in making sure that Googles, the people are not only not going to have what they need, but we have a few people in power who thinks Googles the people should not be. So it's time to. Well, I was given a compliment by a Noir Auntie, a former Noir Auntie once. Dee and Love are about business, show enough. The business of you surviving and thriving, Black women and children. We about that business. We've been busy. We're going to tell you more about it, but good morning, Auntie Love. Good to see you.
Good morning, Auntie D. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. It's storming here. Summer finally said, I got to, but I'm good. How are you feeling today?
Doing well. I'm doing well. I'm having a good time. I'm paying attention to our matriarchic leadership because I done been put. We'll talk about that later, everybody out there. I done been put on.
We're getting there.
I've been had the finger wagged at me for good reason though, because of my behaviors. So yeah,
there's a lot going on, y'all.
Yeah, it was a lot going on, right? But it has been such a wonderful thing in the sense that we really did make such a great space for Black women and Black femmes to begin with, and then eventually little Black girls to be safe and to come together and build our own. So we'll talk more about that, but I'm doing great. Just we've done so much. You're so right. And just no time. Like it feels like we've been doing okay. It did take. All right. No, I'm just talking about it feels like this last year has gone by so fast.
Yeah, it's been a year since certain other things happened, and it's just like, have we really gone that long? Yeah, it's November 13th. So,
yeah,
like I said, I mean, it's been a lot. There's changes, good and changes. We like things we didn't, things we don't want to see. And actually, that's going to be our program today. We're going to actually start about the things that we have to deal with and now confront because they are on top of us. Literally, under the president's federal leadership, the country has spent a month trying to get this country to choose between feeding 42 million people, including 16 million children, and giving solid health care. We have certain people who do not want the poor to have health care or food. And then you have certain other people who are not standing up the way they should, but they don't believe it either. Because it's not about right and it's not about left. But Auntie Love's going to explain that a little bit later. And some of you are not going to like the answer. It's going to make you uncomfortable, but you're not going to be able to escape it either. Because we just had this reality played out. But we do need to start because even though the Republicans are always trying to deflect responsibility on someone else, the fact of the matter is the president is Donald John Trump. And two Steves we need to talk about. Stephen Bannon, B-A-N-N-O-N, Bannon, and Stephen Miller. Steve with the PH in his name. We need to talk about both of them because you are living in their version of attempting to create Valhalla, except that eating Black women and children is going to be the war that they want to devour every day. Don't know about what I just said. Remember your Norse mythology that you were forced to take in school. You're about to live on the wrong side of the Vikings at this point. That's basically where we are. And There's a lot to be said about it, but let me turn it over to Auntie Love because let's start there, and I'll come back and give you something that Stephen Miller allegedly was caught saying about what he thinks. Keep in mind, the population of the United States is 340 million. What he thinks a nice number should be. And then ask yourself if what we just saw with the shutdown is the end of the beginning. I'll be back. Tell us a little bit about, because I know you sit in virtual rooms where most of us wouldn't even dare go with black women, but you just sit there and listen to what's going on. So you got some intel and some insight and some information about what's happening. Tell us about
Yeah. Um, so most of you probably don't know, but we'll talk more about defense a little bit later, but that's a part of defense is to do intel and to have eyes and ears in different places. A very important part of the art of war is the idea that you're actually trying to prevent committing anyone to getting physically hurt. Your enemy, your ally, your own troops, right? You should have been doing other things to try to combat this. White people use the other parts of this very well as well. They are quite able to take a narrative and bend it, fold it, rework it, um, call it evil, and then repackage it, that same thing they called evil, and then say they came up with it. So going around and telling people the things that Steve Bannon is saying, this isn't something where we get to, what do I say, put our heads in the sand, except for most of us as black women, and I'm going to be straight up with you. Most of us are finding red ant hills to go stick our head in the sand, which is y'all business if you want to stick your head in the sand. Okay. But let me tell you what that effectively does. You put your head in the sand and you smother yourself. That is, um, if you're choosing to do the whole red ant hill thing, well, it won't be just you smothering yourself. They like to eat. So the rest of your body's exposed, though. I, on the other hand, would rather be on the Silk Road, standing up in all of my armor and all of my protection against a sandstorm. Putting your head in the sand does nothing to protect you from the sandstorm. In fact, you just exposed your body to being ravaged by said sandstorm. Meantime, I done put my little stuff over my mouth and I'm standing through the sandstorm, or I'm getting behind another dune or something like that. You, on the other hand, have smothered yourself. I don't know what y'all want to do with that. Okay. I really don't. This wasn't a joke 2 years ago when we started telling you about Project 2025, and it's not a fucking joke today. They have literally enacted it page by fucking page. We told you that this is what was going to happen. And so here it is. And the reason I'm really pissed is that we are sitting here and we are sending black girls, little children out to face these fucking heinous motherfuckers. We went to the polls, and those of you who voted for Trump, or you a blue bracelet wearer, whatever your fucking shit is, y'all are all complicit in this shit. So don't come to me talking to me about how you voted for Kamala or any fucking body else. Now all of a sudden you know what it fucking feels like to have no food, to have no rights, to have other people make decisions for you and then use you to harness you. Well, that's what's going on with our little black girls. Except because they're not adults, they can't fend that shit off. So as a result, I've been put on notice at at Global Alidari Nation because I have to focus more on defense, and I have to focus more on vetting, and I have to focus more on ensuring that the spaces that we have built are maintain their safety, their ability to uplift, and their ability to hold those of you who choose to come and put our expertise all to work together, right? We are trying to maintain the integrity of those spaces. So, Dee, you were saying that. Wait, what was I telling you? Oh, yeah. When Dee was just saying, Auntie Dee over here, look, but I'm going to tell you about this. Okay. I don't give a damn. Now, this is just me personally. I ain't speaking for GON. I'm just speaking as Vanoji over here, okay? Warrior board, all right? Just telling you from my little perspective as defense. Steve Bannon and that other one with the pock marks that don't wash his face. That is Steve Bannon. Okay, no, the one with the jug head. What's that boy name is? Look like a
Miller.
piece of paper. Miller. Oh, yeah.
Miller.
Okay. Miller. Okay, the Steves, because I'll be calling them the Steves to the negative power of 2, I guess. But
we don't know negative power 2. Why I got 10. No. We're about to lose our whole life. Just spit it all up and that's it. We be like, we can't even stream that. Monetize.
The Steves to the 2 negative power girls. Like, I can't stand them 2 dummies.
I don't disagree with the characterization. I just want to wreck.
But no, I want to be very clear with y'all, black women. Okay, let me be clear. I don't know what else to do. Well, I do, but I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna just be straight up. When white people are talking to you, I don't care about the ones that are coming on now and being like, "Hey, we don't like what y'all are doing. How dare y'all be that racist to someone and blah, blah, blah. What is going on? What are we having over here? White on white crime? Shut the fuck up. Shut it. Because all of you have been complicit in this shit. All of you. You haven't cared one damn about one child globally. Not one, not even your own. So all these people out here, that's what I'm telling you, black women, they don't give a damn. And if you don't know that by now, me telling you ain't gonna matter. But the bottom line is, we be thinking about this. I can't stand this shit when someone says, oh, white women are just voting against their interest. They're not voting against their interest. They're voting against your interest and the interest of children and the interest of, I don't know, other human beings. That's who they're voting against. They did it on purpose. They grown. They made choices. And those of them that are blue bracelet wearers are in families with these same miscreants. But now all of a sudden they want to call them out. Well, ain't you about 50 years old and now all of a sudden you calling your Mima out for being a flaming fucking racist? For being over there at lynchings? Getting to be the head Valkyrie in position to mutilate us? Because if you think white bitches did not participate in all the bloodletting that they did to us, you really are out of your mind. See, it's not about being left or right. It's not about that. Oh, they're Democrats. Oh, they're Republicans. And what do you expect from Republicans? Blah, blah, blah. Same thing I expect from liberal white women or liberal women of other denominations or whatever they calling themselves today. Not a fucking thing. Except the covetousness and the fucking hate. That's what I expect because that's what they've shown me by their behavioral patterns. So it's not left or right. They are fucking white. And even those people who are of color, the Vivek Swamis and whoever the fuck it is.
Vivek Ramaswamy, I believe.
Ramaswamy.
Yeah,
You want to be white
Ramaswamy.
so bad? Good luck. White people can't even be right and be good to each other. What are you talking about? But you did all of that. And what do y'all always do? All of them out there, black women, what do they always do? One thing they'll all get together on. I don't care if they a Hispanic for Trump, a Cuban for Trump, a fucking Asian for Trump, or whoever, black for Trump, or whoever they are. What do they always do? What's their common thing that they can all agree on? How much they despise us.
Since we're
Not
there,
because
I'll
we've
come
ever
back.
done anything to them. Not because we've done anything. Not because we mistreated them. Not because we haven't even been kind in the face of all of their hate and brutality and fucking violence. Not because of any of those things, but because they covet. I've been telling y'all this for 3 years. Straight up. It's been longer, but track. Go on back. You can look at my previous channels. You're going to hear the same shit. I've just honed it. This is not about left or right. That's them doing what the only thing that their God gave them that they could do from the beginning, which is name shit. You get to give things names. Well, last time I looked, black women, black girls, and black femmes aren't fucking things. Okay, that's gonna be a lot for me to have to confess.
Yeah. While we're there, though, since we are there, um, blackface is back,
Okay.
and again, the idea, the obsession with naming things, the obsession with appropriating even the identity of things, as if those aren't people that you want to eliminate and replace. Since we're there, I'll come back to Stephen Miller because in Stephen Miller's world, you're going to need a whole lot more of trying to imitate things that no longer exist. Go into the blackface piece of that since we're there. If it's not too much for you to do, because that was a lot by itself.
So we know that a few years back when these white girls were saying this, well, we've been hearing it ever since we've been growing up. And we all know I'm ancient. We've been hearing this. I've been hearing the same thing from little white girls when I was a little black girl. Same exact shit. Now they're older and they're passing it on to they whatever girl, whatever they call them, daughters of the Confederacy, whatever they got, granddaughters of the Grand Pumbaa, somebody. But us waiting for the next fuck thing for them to do is really the point of what I'm talking about. Okay. So these hookers decided over this last Halloween or whatever that it wasn't just one of them, it was several of them. And they decided that they were going to do blackface. And that the thing that they thought was the scariest thing and the most hated thing and blah 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 was to be a black woman. Now I don't think I maybe Maybe I don't understand something. But when they did that while we were enslaved, it was to keep us enslaved, correct? That's how they justified it. When they did it
We
during
were
Jim
monsters.
Crow, yeah, it was so they could justify lynching us. And let me make this very clear, black woman. Please don't anybody come to me and go, well, black men got it, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about them. They are grown. They can handle their own. On the other hand, little black girls cannot. And black men ain't coming to save them. Not at all. They ain't coming for us. They damn sure ain't coming for them. So I don't want to hear the shit. We were being lynched. The same tears that these white bitches cried to get black men lynched, they did the exact same thing to us. The only difference is we were often hung right next to our children. You tell me where black men were. Because ain't they supposed to be strong and all this other shit? It was black women who stopped lynchings. And that's what we're trying to do today. So here comes some white bitches with blackface. They just keep repeating the same thing. But the problem is we don't know because they told us we can't know about ourselves. I told y'all how long ago when they first came back up with this shit over there in Florida. The dude, whoever the governor is, that pasty motherfucker. Oh, he blah blah blah. He won't let our kids da da da. Let your kids. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course he wouldn't want your children educated. He is a white supremacist. What is wrong with y'all? But can he see our humanity? How he gonna see something he ain't got? Okay? He don't know what the fuck you talking about, humanity. But you decided that, okay, we just gonna send our little girls and little boys and we ain't gonna teach them how to that just don't, just keep your head down, da da da. Same shit they try to tell me growing up. Doesn't matter whether you try to keep your head down or not. They are going to be violent. That is what they do. Your best bet is to get prepared. Or I guess not in some of y'all cases. But whatever. I'm telling you, blackface, these bitches doing blackface. That one white girl, Lily Ledbetter. Okay, no, she the one that she's one a different serial killer over like an actual serial. Okay, anyway, whatever that girl, little hooker is, that one. Um, she said this. She came back the next day, I guess, or something to talk about it. And this is what she said. And the only person that picked up on it was Tabitha. Tabitha Politics with Tabitha. Y'all need to listen. The only person was that picked up on it out of all these news, and social media news, all these things. She was the only one. That little white fucking legion came in and said, the reason I did blackface was so the rest of you could basically get used to the most outrageous thing. Because when our president says something, then it won't be such a big deal. So you use something that gets us killed today. I'm not just talking about in yesteryear. You use something to get us killed. So you could be what? Next in line after Erica, whatever that little girl name
Erica
is.
Kirk.
Yeah. So you could be next in line after Erica Kirk. I'm really getting tired of you fucking um um street corner hoes of the fucking Legion. I can't wait for the fucking fry guy to die amongst y'all hierarchy so y'all can just go ahead and step in their place and leave the rest of us the fuck alone. But of course, that's not you stepping in whatever place to be the next head legion or what the fuck ever, means that you are going to do what you always do, which is be even more violent. You don't get to do blackface, bitch, because I said you don't. Who's it hurting? Blah, blah. I don't give a fuck who it ain't or who it is hurting. You don't get to do it. Now what? And the minute you do, I'm going to put all my shit into effect. Because if you think I'm just doing this alone or what the fuck ever, you out of your mind. I'm coming at you from every fucking direction. I'm going to battle you on every fucking field, and I'm not going to need to commit one motherfucking force. I am not the most lethal fucking bitch in any environment because I'm carrying a dark sister. I am the most lethal, cute and lethal in an environment because of this. See, the power that you need right now, Black women, is within you. And one great way to awaken it is to read. See, you would never allow, if you are a church Black woman, let me tell you something. Yeah, you would never allow somebody to mess with that Bible. I've seen Bibles that have come through generations in a family and been intact, beautiful. Same thing with the Quran. You can't, oh, don't you even think about that over there with the Jewish folks over there, that Tanakh and
Oh, dude.
you cannot do anything other than treat those written biblica with kid gloves. I'm talking about the actual physical book. Am I wrong, Auntie D? Don't people hold their biblica sacred?
Nope. I remember my grandmother's teacher. So this is Dr. Desi Webster. Said to me personally, I was maybe 3 or 4. When you put a Bible down, you don't ever put anything on top of it. And then later on, learning there's places that you put Bibles, there's places that you don't. So that's how, let's see, the oldest Bible in my family, from which we got family information because it wasn't recorded in certificates yet, must be at least a century old, at least. And we could still get information about when my great grandfather was born. So it's at least a century old, maybe a little more because it's 2025. So yeah, people treat the people do this, and Muslims and certainly Jews, all the Abrahamics have a, and I probably should mention certain of the Sikh sects treat that written, that this is a common thing. You don't mess with that. On the other hand, what we don't see, and we'll get into it later, is we don't see people treating actual people. Because that book says, whether you've had it a century or not, love thy neighbor as thyself. So it's one thing to make an idol of the paper. It's another thing to be in a relationship with who you say you serve and worship, and then treat the people the way they're supposed to be treated according to the book that you hold. So you hold the book sacred, but you don't hold your duty sacred, and therefore you don't hold the people that you're supposed to take care of as a sacred. I know that's where you're going.
That's
and that's the problem. But I'm gonna let you finish your point because I gotta come back to that other Steve.
No, Auntie D, you got you. That's it right there. That is
okay.
it.
So
right there.
Yes,
and then I'm gonna take it just one little slight step forward because we know I got issues. Okay, serious one. I even started this out with my issue. All right. Not only do you not treat other humans that way, however, they are adults. You don't give a fuck about a child. oh, all of these books can make it through generations. Certain people can't touch it if they happen to be on their period or some other bullshit, honey. Whatever it is, that however you hold it sacred, however you hold it sanctified, how you keep that book protected, physically protected. It is in a special place. You do that with a book, but you won't even do that with Black girls. Last time I looked, when all of the rest of y'all go to church or the synagogue or wherever you go, yeah, your biblica is in there, but your children are too. Am I wrong? So you tell me how there are passes, as Auntie D will say, there are passes out here putting
Rhymes
their
with
hands and
massa.
everything else
Passa
on little
rhymes with massa,
children.
y'all.
Yeah.
Passa rhymes with massa, y'all. Just so you understand. And it was another Black woman channel, Madam Whip Ass, the person who originated that. So I just need to put that out there. I was not original to give that woman credit. But go ahead. I just needed to make sure that credit was given.
Yes. So I'm sorry, y'all. I hadn't touched the comments. I gotta look at the comments because I forgot to put the comments up so I can see y'all.
Because I can't see nothing over here. But
I'm sorry.
there's comments though. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Do we have some good comments?
I forgot to put the comments up. I'm sorry, everyone. This has been a minute since we've been used Restream.
And then they move stuff around, and you know your aunties can't do all this. Just say things and update.
Come
We're
on.
here. We're back.
Come on. All these learning curves.
We gotta do it.
Yeah. But that is the point that I'm gonna use Jesus as an example. Jesus, the actual gospel Jesus, there's not a place in there where I there's not a place in there and where he put paper, an object, over a child. It's just not there.
Find
I've looked. I have. It's just not there. The couple of times you did see him, it mentions him being in the church or whatever, was as a child, and then wants to go turn the tables over because y'all acting a fool like y'all still doing 2,000 years later. Jesus wouldn't have got
there is a third time, but it still makes the point. He was talking about the Lord has appointed me to preach the gospel to the poor, and talking about the poor and the needy. And they basically ran him up out of there talking about Joseph the carpenter. Who are you? So it still makes a point. He's consistent. It's 3 times, but they don't even talk about that time because the whole idea that Jesus wants to actually do stuff for the poor makes him a liberal, milk toast, bleeding heart. So no, we don't even talk about the fact that it was predicted in Isaiah he was going to have a concern for the poor. But we don't talk about that because he's not an alpha male. He kind of simping for the women and the children the way these people talk today.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like,
so when I'm hearing when people are saying things, I'm like, corruption. Same thing I've said about the goddess side of it, right?
Yeah.
Or
you're there.
Yeah. Corruption, because white folks have spent their time over in Africa digging up every single one of us they could find. How many of y'all been over in Europe digging up a bunch of white people? Did your grandma? Did great grandma? Who? When? They went over into Africa and burned down library after library. They don't want you to know. And then we fall right into not. That's one of the most powerful things, like I said, is knowledge. But this thing where we are trying so hard to be like them that we will play into the church motif, or um or being, spiritual, in the sense that you may believe in a pantheon, or you may believe in the male and female um parts of creation, or however you see it, however you see it. White people have gone in and corrupted that shit. So you're going to have to do more than just see something on its surface. See, when I hear Black women come to me and say, "Can I do a reading for you?" A reading of what? Why would I don't read what? How can you read something and you are a perfect stranger to me when I know who the fuck I am and what the fuck I want and what I will do and what I won't do? I already have a relationship with the goddesses. I don't do go betweens. I don't need anybody to be in between me and the goddess who's my mother, or me and the goddesses that are my aunties. I don't need it. That's how I know what you're doing is a corruption. For those of you out here going, "Oh, I'm a priestess of such and so and blah, 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 and I've been certified to be I don't care. That is telling me
They have
nothing
diploma
about your
mills.
relationship.
Wait. They
That's
have
telling me nothing
diploma
about your
mills on it.
relationship to who you're saying you believe in. That doesn't tell me about your relationship. That tells me that you went and got something that says you got a badge.
Wait, they have diploma mills over there. I mean, over. We done passed that bad habit on. We got
Yes.
diploma mills.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going through the study and such and such and so and blah, blah, blah. Well, the study really has to be about you.
Wow.
You have to study yourself, because it's going to be you who's in relationship with whomever you claim to believe in. Not whoever gave you the certification, not whoever calling you a reverend by email or some shit. Okay?
Remember my email? But that
I
does that exist,
mean,
but it's so ridiculous.
what are you talking about? What are y'all talking about? You are going to have to put study into this. You can't just believe shit on a surface. You're going to have to go deep. That's why we be talking about going deep. Because knowledge is power. That's why they don't want you to have it. So you just going to stop at, oh, I saw a bright light in you and this and that. I know. You also should have seen the dark shit too, because it's there too. Girl, don't come over here with that bullshit. Everything you're saying is telling me you don't have a relationship with whoever it is you say you believe in. That's why I keep telling people, because a lot of us claim that we're Christian. Not me, but a lot of us do. I keep telling y'all, then what is going on? I just need to know what's going on with Jesus' phone. Are y'all calling the right number? Are you sure you have his number? It might be, because I'm just saying he might give you a fake number or something. I don't know.
Listen,
Because
y'all.
you actually have to be
When
in relationship with Jesus. That's all I'm saying. So that could be why there's a mention. You ain't getting the calls ain't going through to him. But a
folks are
good
calling on the main
option
line.
is not to come to my ass. Okay, that's not an option. Okay, Jesus didn't pick up, so you thought you should come and ask. No, prayer request denied. Okay, access denied. Hell no. Hell no.
So you're telling me people are not calling the main line but coming to you because, we all under a certain age know that song, Jesus on the main line, but folks are basically
Uh-huh.
going past the main line and calling
Yeah,
you.
uh-huh. You coming over there?
Y'all.
And then they over there, then not, it ain't just me. They coming to you too. They
Yeah.
coming to all these different Black women, all of these different people who say that they're Christians. Most Hispanic people, Latin people are Catholics, aren't they?
Yeah, the vast
Why are
majority.
you coming and asking Black women to do shit for you? Why
This,
don't you call on your saints? I don't get what's going on. Is there? I'm telling you, it's some, do they all have Samsung? No offense against people with
oh my
Samsung, but I'm
gosh.
just saying. Probably why it ain't, y'all ain't gonna make it. Y'all got it. They messed you up. They gave you a fake phone number. I feel like that's what's happening here. And
Or,
somehow I don't know. I just don't know.
well,
But don't come here.
don't call over
Okay?
there. Basically what we're telling you.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay. That actually does have point of my agenda. So I'm going to merge things. I promise y'all I will come back to Stephen Miller. So
Yes.
let me just go here first. I have a series I'm doing on my YouTube channel called The Zero Knowledge. It's Vision by Zero. Zero Knowledge Christian. And what their marks are. Basically, these are people who do not have, nor do they care to have, the Lord's phone number. Because you're going to call the Lord Jesus, and he's going to tell you there are two great commandments. It's in at least 3 of the 4 Gospels. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and love thy neighbor as thyself. The first great commandment is shown by how you do the second great commandment. Since right now, Jesus is not walking around in visible form. His spirit is among us. But the way that you show that you love God is by loving the people who are your neighbors. Well, automatically, this throws out racism, classism, sexism, misogyny, misogynoir, because you cannot love people and make child out of them. And the fact that so many Christians do not know this means they've never read the Gospels, never read Matthew. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Just from the Sermon on the Mount. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Now, we've defined that. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And all these things, your food, clothing, shelter, but nobody get to get the American dream off of somebody else's back. The things that are food, clothing, and shelter. No, you don't get to chase your greed and status at the expense of anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit later, suffer the little children to come to me and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. So you're not going to be bothering children. If you mess with kids, you'd be better off having a millstone put around your neck and thrown into the sea. So you're not going to be messing with the kids. You're going to leave Mary an alabaster box alone. We don't know your name. We going to know her name. But 7 of y'all disciples won't be heard again to the New Jerusalem because you just mad because she worshiped me instead of y'all. We haven't left the book of Matthew yet. I'm not going to even ask y'all. I did the Bible study about the book of John. Because in the book of John, you see Jesus going after the manosphere of his day and protecting women. In John, you see that the first missionary to convert an entire town is a woman. So you find out, no, you keep on reading, you're like, wait, but the disciples were in hiding. The women were the ones who got the word of the resurrection. And they were the ones that told men. So because y'all who have not read the Gospels do not have knowledge, then you get swept evangelical nationalism and do not have the ability to know that this is a corruption. These people want to put a white male in God's position. Read Daniel, read Revelation. But first, read the Gospels. Because if you just knew who Christ was, you would not accept someone who Jeffrey F. sent a note to Jeffrey Epstein in a JP possessing girl as a note, who is desperately trying to change Republican minds, keep files reduced. You never thought I would have to give King Charles III a compliment I can't give my own Christian, my own nation about pulling down the pedophile and his family. I never thought Charles III would get in front of the United States. But Conrad Adenauer, after Nazi Germany, is ahead of the United States. I mean, we just falling fast because we want to be a Christian nation. We got zero knowledge. And that brings us to Charlie Kirk and back around to Steve Miller. This is why you have people who had completed high school going to colleges 10 years later and bullying people and becoming famous, dying literally minutes after trying to talk about gun violence, throwing black people under the bus again, and being snatched in the same instant. This is why you have this whole Christian organization where a widow feels the need to go be putting her fingers up through someone else's hair. He's a married man. You're a widow, but you, Erica Kirk, gonna be up here on the vice president, just running her little finger through his hair live at the service that is supposed to be there to commemorate, because they have, the Bible says you have not because you ask not, and that it says you have not, you would consume it on your lust. And zero knowledge Christians are okay with that. Now, see, over here, radical heathens, because this is the scripture that Auntie Love has used for herself, is looking at us like, Jesus didn't tell y'all to do that. How come we don't know? This is how you get overtaken by the people who are literally trying to put the Antichrist in position. Not that President Trump is the Antichrist. The Antichrist is not going to get caught in the West Wing, falling out, sleep, and eat it. It just happened last week. That it ain't gonna be that. It ain't gonna be that kind of party. They're gonna get somebody young eventually. And by the way, if you mention to these Europeans, they keep trying. In 1800s, we got names you don't know but should look up because they're using their playbook translated into English twice removed. Clemens von Metternich, premier in Austria. His administrative playbook is basically being operated today as Project 2025. And Otto von Bismarck, their playbook was basically translated into English in the 20th century in the United States of America. So how we get the public school system that we have today is actually Otto von Bismarck plus Mr. Dewey plus Karl Marx. But Bismarck, so you could build an empire, an American empire. You get people who don't ask questions, good workers, good soldiers who don't ask questions. And of course, that manifested in the 20th century as Benito Mussolini, Adolf Hitler, and Joseph Stalin, among others. There's more that we could mention, but I'll stop there. Because if you look around, what people keep trying to recreate is a European Antichrist. And if you're a zero knowledge Christian, you're going to roll right along with it. That's how you can get a Charlie Kirk. That's how you get his widow, who basically is trying to sex up someone live on stage. And no one is like, Jesus ain't going to let us do none of this. You about to get us all destroyed. Didn't y'all remember in Sunday school how the Lord told his own people at that time that if you don't get to sit out of camp, I'm not going with you? Well, that also tells you that the Lord has nothing to do with most of the stuff that is passing for Christianity right now, because the Lord doesn't do messy. You up here, a widow massaging up somebody's hair live, who's a married man, and you supposed to be, but then again, weren't y'all the ones that just had poor Sandy McCain up there just 10, 15 years about how romantic it was when she met John at the Family Values Convention, and she forgot that when she met John, he was still married to someone else? Ain't that the same party that knows that you have a man who used to walk around and talk about grabbing women by their most intimate bits and put him in office twice? And we're supposed to be okay with this, and you call yourself a Christian? Okay, so you're going to be okay with that. Be okay with this. The other Steve, allegedly, been caught out here saying he thinks the ideal population of the United States should be 160 million people. I told you to keep in mind that the population of the United States is 340 million people. Now, I'm not going to make you do the math. That means 180 million people, a number 30 times the size of the Holocaust, has to disappear. This is why having 42 million people, having a government shut down for 43 days, 44 days, depending on whether it's actually stopped today, is not a problem, because those 42 million people, as far as Steve Miller is concerned, should disappear. And so, too, the 24 million people who are not going to be able to afford their health care. That's only 68 million people. You still have 112 million people that need to go to get down to 160 million. So, Black women and children, where do you think you are on the list? Let me just break this down to you. There are about 170 million white people. So if you take out 170 million, 180 million, who do you think is going? Now, roll that around, black children. What's the plan? Because even if the United States cannot quite build enough concentration camps to accomplish that without wrecking its economy, no company can drop its income by 50%. However, you could put a man in office who wrecks the economy so bad it doesn't make any difference anyway. Could have that happen too. Pay attention to what's happening in the economy. You get a depression bad enough, you don't need all those bodies because those businesses no longer exist anyway. You have people who are big on AI and hoping that people can be made superfluous as well. So this is actually happening. I'm not so much telling you this, and believe me, the zero knowledge Christians not knowing this will go along with it in the same way that only Dietrich Bonhoeffer and Martin Niemöller were willing to pay the price to stand up against Hitler in Germany as Christian men. They were the only people who were willing to do it. The rest of the pastors of Germany, I don't know how you would class a pastor. I know the word is prediger, but I don't know the word for that you would write. I can't do that for you in German. But they stood by and let this happen. Zero knowledge Christians in the land of Martin Luther were just as ignorant as zero knowledge Christians going to black churches in the land of Martin Luther King. I really should say Coretta Scott. She wasn't the one out there. She was dealing with the adultery, not out there committing it. So, sorry, y'all. Let's just deal with the facts. We had a civil rights movement because Coretta Scott King stayed quiet. And again, he's a whole reverend doctor. And nobody sat him down and said, Martin, you're going to do that one more time, and we're sitting you down. The Lord will send us someone else. No, it had to wait until larger forces sat him down for good, which is actually sad. But y'all, that's what's going to happen. Now, you get to make a decision about, okay, this is the facts. These things can be looked up. What are you going to do about it for yourself and for your children? The reason that Auntie Love and I have been away for so long is because we got together with another very powerful sister, and we put together something where you can have this of refuge. For those of you who are deep-minded Christians, God actually told his people, you need to build cities of refuge for people who are unjustly treated in the country. This is in the book of Leviticus and the book of Numbers. Of course, I know. Oh my gosh, it's in the Bible. Okay, you read Genesis and Exodus. It isn't much storytelling, but this is deep knowledge. You're supposed to understand the concept of needing a city of refuge. Now, obviously, women practice all kinds of different relationships with faith. Well, I'm not talking about this, it's another Christian grift. I'm saying that in terms of having places where you can go and not be having to snivel for crumbs and being made to kiss the ring to get them, where like-minded black women are going to work together in entrepreneurship so we all have the resources that we need. Auntie Love and I and another wonderful black woman we'll talk about in a little bit have been working on putting together the base structure for this, and this is what we really came to you about today. As bad as it is, there are solutions being built. Now, this was the brainchild of Auntie Love, so I'm going to let her talk more about GON, but this is the day that we're talking about. It is available for you to get involved with it. Auntie Love, tell them about it.
Okay, I'm still having a problem getting the thing up because I forgot how to do it, the comments. So I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize. I can't even see who's here. I'm just like, I'm just pushing buttons, but that's okay. That's okay.
If you want me to go on for a few minutes, I can.
Okay.
Do you need a couple minutes?
Okay.
Because what I'll do is
I'll do that. Okay. So wait a minute. What was I doing? I just got it. My head.
I was going to ask you to talk about GOA because this is your brain job. But if you need a few more minutes because you're looking for the buttons, I can go on. Okay.
I was hoping Kai would come too to talk about it. I think it's difficult to me because it is something that I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like I feel like I'm not always the best person um to explain it. And Kai has a way of putting it that she put it on LinkedIn. And by the way, we have GON now. We have GON LinkedIn, we have GON TikTok, and we have GON YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna go off of the way she succinctly put this. And I
Okay.
just was like, wow, for real. Okay, yes, I got it. Don't anybody say it. Love, don't you know how to even talk about your own shit? No, stop. Okay, stop it. All right. I'm just saying. We all know. We all know. My head will be 50 places at once. Okay. So um I'm literally gonna read what she wrote. And this is GON. It literally is. And both, you know, Auntie Kai and Auntie D are tremendous at this. Like I, I just be because it's not, I'm not supposed to be the person, I'm not supposed to be over here doing, you know, the whole like, no, I'm supposed to be serving Olinda Olindari Shalupe Vanoji. In other words, Olandari, our sovereign selves. That's what I'm supposed to be serving. So global Alandari network of Black women, femmes, and girls. Okay. You can find us on any social media. Just go GONOFBWFG. Okay. We also have an email address you can look in our, you know, on our YouTube channel and get that information. And you can also apply to come and work with us if you have an expertise in tech, in finance, in if you're, you know, a lawyer, if you have security understanding, if you are a administrator for health, a nurse, a doula. Um, we want you as Black women to come. You know, you do have to apply. We do have a form that you have to go through, right? But we want you to come and use your expertise to help create infrastructure that is global. We've already started. We already have um, foundational standards and policies and procedures. Uh, but we worked really hard over this past 2 years specifically, but 3 years generally together because we did a whole lot of study and stuff, right? But now it's ready for y'all. It is ready for you to come, right? But we have to maintain the defense part. We have to make sure that the place remains sacred and that you remain protected. So therefore, on the defense end, as Vinoji, and what Vinoji is the Black women, Black femmes, Black girls who are warrior healer born. So our job is to provide the defense protection overall. But your job as individuals is to come gain the knowledge so that you can protect yourself and the children in your life or the family that you have. You know what I'm saying? Um, but generally, we are not allowing defense to go by the wayside. That is in part why there was a red summer, because we didn't put in place anything to defend ourselves. We didn't prepare for the fact that they are going to try to steal what we do They are going to try to manipulate. They are going to try to destroy it. They are going to try to dismiss us. They are going to try to do all of these different things. That is what they do. The difference between us and, I don't know, different other types of groups of Black people is we're not waiting for anyone to harm us. We all know what the intent is. They've proven it over and over. We are deciding that we are going to be our own solutions. So that's what we did. Now, let me put it in the words of the famous cat, okay? Dragonfly. Okay. Let me put it in her words because she does it so well. But okay, if you wanted to hear from me, there you go. You got that part. All right. So um there is something sacred happening among Black women right now. And that is, we're remembering who we are. We are claiming our narrative, community, and legacy. Black women are one of the most highly educated groups. Well, actually, we are the most highly educated group in America. We launch businesses at the fastest rate um, of any other type of demographic. We drive culture, of course, right? We we're the people who created language and all the things that all of you other ones is coming out, oh, woke and all of this. Girl, hush, hush. So um we also drive the beauty in the world, art, uh, fashion, and we are freaking brilliant. Technology, huh? Innovation, creation. We are still, though, fighting for basic dignity, respect and safety in media, workplaces, and public life. Recently, many of us have been raising our voices in shows like Love is Blind and Love Island, insisting on accurate representation, intentional casting, um, and the protection and dignity of Black women on screen. This isn't, though, just about entertainment. And I'll add in that's why we brought up fa- blackface. It's important that we are the ones who write our own narratives, policies, procedures, standards of operation where we're concerned and our children and our community is concerned. We keep waiting for other people to do that for us, and they don't like us. I don't know if you don't get that, but anyway, okay, that's not what Kai said, but I just ad lib. Sorry, Kai. Okay, I just ad lib. And more importantly, how we are taught to treat ourselves. But here's the truth: we're not waiting to be picked. Um, we're choosing ourselves. We are building our own table, house, chair, everything. We are the dream and the dreamer. I love the way she put this. We are the dream and the dreamer, the vision and the vessel, the legacy and the future. We are a global Alandadi nation of Black women, femmes, and girls. And I suggest no one try us. Because we done given a hand, Black women. Y'all want me to give y'all a little bit of Ken Man because I love her. We give them a hand, gave them a hand, and they bite us. We gave them a try, and they tried us. That day is done. That day is done. So Global Alandati Network. I'm sorry, Global Alandati Nation on LinkedIn, YouTube, and what's the other one? TikTok. You can go to our YouTube or LinkedIn page and you will see the link, the TikTok page too, of GONOFBWFG. Okay. You go to any of them, you'll find where you can apply. And we do vetting because we have to make sure that the Black women who come in really are about getting this together. There is an onboarding process if you're accepted once you answer the questions in the form you would be sent. Okay. And one of the things that the leaders have gotten on me on, I'm going to be honest, and I had to be checked, is that I need to concentrate more on vision development and defense and being there for y'all as you come through. But for those of you who are out there, because there's a lot of people out there who are DMing me from back in the day all the way up to current, okay? And I know why you are. I understand you're afraid. And I understand that I'm about solutions. So that's why you're coming to me. And I get that. All right, Black women. And because little Black girls are out of time, I'm out of time. So I will no longer have the time to mentor and coach each one of you individually who don't come through um, um, GON. And then it won't be just you coming through the GON. You're going to have to complete at least get 2/3 of the way done with the onboarding. The classes are free. The books are not. There's 3 books we need you to read, but the 3 classes are free because I want you to be able to understand that you deserve to be an entrepreneur if that's what you want to be, that you deserve your work, the credit for your work, and you deserve to make money off of it. You understand? So that's why I'm not answering the phone calls, the DMs, and things like that, because I've been doing this with y'all for years. And for those of you who've been around me, you have literally no excuse for not protecting yourself, for not getting your defense up, for not, being able to be situated. You have no excuse because I've been telling y'all, I've been begging y'all. Okay. So if you think you're ready to come and get this done, come apply. We shall see. Huh? But I won't be doing any one-to-ones with people who are not going through that. Okay.
Let me piggyback on one thing. Oh, I'm sorry, because there's more that
No,
Kai wrote.
go ahead.
I didn't know if you want to
No.
read the rest.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I know we're gonna start wrapping up in a little bit.
Yeah, but we actually we're doing good. We not living our best. A Baptist pastor, we gonna close 3 times live today. Nah, see, after this, y'all, I gotta get to a meeting with some people that do not understand that if we're gonna do things for women and children, we're gonna do things for the mothers and the children. I gotta get to another meeting after this because Noir Auntie be out here in these streets doing the darn thing. But here's the deal. We
She
were
really
once
do.
given a compliment by a former Noir Auntie. Love and D are about business. Darn straight. Because, we ran Project 2045 2 years ago. Getting a population of people from 340 million to 160 million is business. So we better be on business. And if you are a Christian, you know the only reason you on the earth is to do the same thing Jesus said. Did you not know I got to be about my Father's business? If you're Christian, say amen. If you not a Christian and you know what it is, you say what you say because it's true. This is what Christ was on about being about his father. But that's what we're here. So when Locke talks about if you're coming to get things done, that's what we're looking for. We recognize that Black women are looking for shelter right now. We recognize this. We recognized it a year ago. We recognized it 2 years ago. We weren't working together as closely 3 years ago because we're in 2022. But at that time, there were a lot of different places that we were in a lot of different rooms, but it turned out they were not sheltered because one, they were not being administrated by people that were interested in keeping, not allowing traumatic experiences from happening over and over again for content. And I'm not talking about one content creator. There's plenty of them out there that were up there at that time.
Yep.
And in second, even if that were the case, vetting the people who are in the room with you is very important. Because as we encountered from time to time, there are Black women who are what did you call them? You classify them as who are
It's
more
Pennywise,
interested in a
that clown underneath
Pennywise.
the.
That's it. I look at this as Black women who are so interested. What um, Maya Love Edwards in her book, A Black Woman Centered, which is one of our books, by the way, would say here, these are male identified women who were just so interested in being appealing to to Black women. Someone had the temerity to tell about it, to talk about how Auntie Love should redo her classes so that men could get in it. I'm like, oh Lord, help. Don't make me go on a Latin talking about Kyrie. That you can actually Kyrie your layers on because you just messed up. But but see, if you're still of the mind that everything you have means you bow down to some mortal man, you're not the right fit. If you want to, but you don't want to pick up a hammer, figuratively speaking, you're not the right fit for us. Because what happens is, and I'm just gonna be honest, Auntie Love and I are at auntie ages. I'm going to be 45 in January, and 45 is not 25. I can do today what I did at 25. Am I going to pay a price for trying to do it? It's going to be a heavy price. Now, there's some people that I will do this for. Minnie Mud was back in church on Sunday, Auntie Love. That was a whole hoop. This is a 5-year-old Black girl, and she bought her cousin Minnie Mud.
Oh no!
So I got the
Oh
soprano and I got the alto. I'm like, y'all just coming up in my choir just singing harmony. All right, great, you here. But see,
dog babies!
Minima and Minima have now pushed our children's department back up to about 18 kids, meaning that people are suddenly bringing their children back to church. Well, that also means these moms or their aunts are also coming back to church, which means on Sunday, ain't no sitting around just singing about it and turning the page of the book and saying amen and falling out and getting happy. I couldn't even come upstairs and do that now. I'd just be like, okay, I gotta have my coffee instead. But it takes a lot of energy. And so what happens is if Auntie Love and I build a community where you just get to come hang out, we get exhausted because there's still work that has happened. If you come in and you don't have something to put on the table, we have to feed you. We have to feed you. We're obligated to do that. Me on my side, because even if your enemy is hungry enough. Now, by the way, Auntie Love's not gonna do this, but I'm just saying, as someone who comes in as a sister, we have to feed. If we go feed her, if on the Christian side you don't let your enemy starve, we definitely have to feed you up. But if we have enough people coming in who need to be fed up and not enough people are working, and see, this is the thing about Black women. Look back at real history. We developed agriculture, we developed language, we developed arts, we did all those things. But we ain't do it by yourself. We ain't talking about y'all right now. Sit down, because Black man, you're a Black woman's son. We created you also in our wombs. Hello.
Oops! I lost Steve for 2 seconds. Sorry, you guys.
That was,
Sorry.
I guess that was too. I just said for the real world. Yes, if you are some
Oh, bring
woman's
it back.
son,
Bring it back. No, bring
that
it
was too
back.
hot. Let me get closer to the camera and say it louder. Listen, we're not talking about y'all right now. Yes, we know that Black men have been involved in the process of civilization. We're not even arguing with that right now. But what's overlooked is you some woman's son, meaning she built you
Mm-hmm,
too from her own body. And,
mm-hmm,
but as a Christian, you will. The Bible says in Psalm 131, 39 that the woman with the place in which you were created was in your mama's womb.
mm-hmm.
So you can't get around it. As a Christian, go read Psalm 139, come back. Don't argue with me about this. God set it up that way. If you over here, here, you just then you're in a belief system where it's like, uh, women did that for themselves. Go look up parthenogenesis if you really wanted to get a different perspective on it. I don't necessarily recommend the perspective, but I'm telling you it's out there. What I'm basically saying is if you anything else but a Black woman, go sit down. Because no matter what side you look at this on, you didn't do ain't nothing happening without us. So if ain't nothing happening without us that actually benefits humanity, every single person came from the womb of a woman that looks like us ultimately. In other words, we don't know what Adam looked like, but we do know what Eve looks like if you're a Christian. We can trace mitochondrial DNA, period. So much so that there is a scientific there is scientific research. You can't find Adam. Does he exist? That conversation over here. But I'm just saying we do know what Eve looked like. She looked more like Auntie Love and Me than Erica Kirk. It is what it is. So why not build tiny home lux communities? And in fact, there are already Black women doing this. Like, for example, it's a channel. Miss Bohemian Soul is one of our
Mm-hmm.
leaders in the areas of working on
Yep.
tiny homes. She's working on this from her own perspective. I need to get an invitation out to her. But it just, I just
He's really
don't know
good.
how because you
Mm-hmm.
get auntie just she should at least be on a consult because she does do
Yes.
consults, by the way. That's right. So why not have spaces that are safe for you? Okay, and let me also, as the Christian, let me bring this up. I know that Black femmes are men who are born men who may be trans, who may be living as women. They have to be vetted too, because obviously a lot of women feel very uncomfortable with that. Everybody has to be vetted. So if you're not on mission, you're not getting in here. Don't worry so much about the rare case of, don't worry so much about the edge case. Because Auntie Love and I are not having trouble with the edge cases. The challenge that we have is the everyday cases. It's like we always project on someone else
Mm-hmm.
what we worry
Mm-hmm.
about being the disruption. As of yet, the disruption has come from Black women, born Black women whose minds still belong to the system.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had a single problem with anyone else. So,
Yeah, and that's so important that you brought that up. That we do defend Black femmes. We do
because they don't
defend
need to destroy
the
either of just
LGBT community that is, you know, we defend them. We're leave them. We are them. They are us. Like, okay, I'm not a little Black girl anymore, but every single one of us as Black women had to be a Black girl at one time. I'm just saying. So it's not like we don't know what it's like, right? We cannot keep doing these divisive types of things because it's based on their belief system and a patriarchy. I'm not even talking about whatever your religious belief is or your spiritual belief. I'm talking about in a patriarchy, in a hierarchical sense. So it's gonna always be, let's find somebody that we can jack.
and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And
Don't make
trans
up another
women
person
in
to jack.
particular, trans women in particular, Black or not, I guess, but I'm talking about Black trans women. This whole thing that we have in our head is whatever you call yourself, a cisgender one, whatever it is. Okay. Again, their idea That's their idea of what a woman is or is not, particularly a Black woman. And none of them should be defining any of that. You understand? Like, we're using the same rules of their hierarchical violence to violate someone else. It generally has never been any type of trans Black woman who was dogging other folk. That's not what they do. And by the way, they're only less than 1% of the population. What is wrong with y'all? Stop
And
trying to stop trying to take whatever it is you grew up with, conditioned with, and placing that onto someone else. I'm gonna be honest. What the hell is between whoever legs? That's their business. Okay? But the bottom line is this. I'm gonna need you to hold Black women, femmes, and girls sacred, protected, and uplifted. Otherwise, keep it moving.
don't let the F trip you, is basically what I'm saying. Don't let the
Yes.
F trip you. Because look at it this way. Okay, in my other life with the 9 hats that y'all can't see that are piling up on my head here. And then talk about heavy is the head that wears the crown. Being queen is a responsibility. See, really doing the stuff. So in senior housing, pretended senior housing, we do not check for who folks are having sex with for them to be part of the community. This is something that, and I live in San Francisco, so you can imagine there's been in all fairness. Because here's the other part of this: the Bible is very clear about sexual relations, men and women, marriage. That doesn't change ever, but that doesn't mean we pick people to just stone at random. This doesn't mean we leave people in the street to die, because if Jesus died on the cross for everybody's sins, it means that he has concern about every single person, no matter what they're doing at this particular moment in time. So as a Christian, you don't get to select people to be mistreated. You don't get to say, love thy neighbor, except for you were there. So when we're talking about safe places for people to live who are living as Black women,
Mm-hmm.
we do not then have to then go back into people's medical history, because we're talking about providing a safe place to live. Now, anyone who becomes unsafe has to leave. So don't trip on the F.
Yeah.
Don't trip on the F. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with everything that everybody does. Confidence with Love and I are never going to have a worship experience together. That's not going to happen, because this would be over here. This is a problem, because this is a problem between Sekhmet,
Mm-hmm.
Eset, Sashet. Okay, this is not going to work. She's like, I ain't bound to need any man. Well, all right, then you're not coming over here to worship Jesus Christ. We're never going to do those things together. That's not going to happen. But what we
Mm-hmm.
do want to find is, okay, is Auntie Love have a safe place to lay her head where she's not going to be attacked, and then people are going to get themselves into a situation? Actually, do they have a safe place? Does she have a safe place to lay her head so that they are not dealing with her? That really is the question. Okay, that's important to me. She's a human being. She's a Black woman. We know what the specific problems are with Black women having a safe place to lay their heads. Is my Muslima in a country that Black woman and Muslim? Oh my gosh. Is she gonna have a safe place to lay her head? I have
Mm-hmm.
Sunday school students who became Muslim for a minute. So you think I stopped loving them because they became Muslim? In fact, I told her the same thing. I said, baby, you're gonna be a Muslim. You're gonna do the same thing over there that I taught you to do. Read your Quran, compare to what I taught you in the Bible, and make a decision. This is what you want to do right now because you think you see righteousness over there that our church is not providing you. That's a knock on us. Okay. All I'm gonna ask you to do is, the same way you study the Bible, study the Quran, and see if this is really what it is that you want. Did I stop loving her? Did I throw her away because she became a Muslim? No. So don't trip on the F. That's 1% of the total global population of Black women. Don't trip on that. Don't immediately go into that mode. Everybody has to be vetted. You're going to look at the vetting process and be like, you got bigger things to worry about because you may not be able to get up in here. And I thought I would mention that because we're talking about housing, we're talking about safe space. And I
Yes.
know there are Black women who believe we can't be safe with people who are born men. I get that. But we also can't be safe with some women who are born women. It really has more to do with your mindset. Well, but what about Sodom and Gomorrah? Listen, if the Lord was going to burn down anything, y'all need to find out what some of how some of these white slave owners were doing with both the boys and the girls. If that was still in the age of grace, what we were doing, the United States would have disappeared before it began. You need to find out why George Washington was riding around on the plantation and got pneumonia at 64 years of age with no business being out there at that time of night. You need to go look that up. Mount Vernon would have burned down first. We're in the age of grace. So just relax. We're putting together a people for black women and girls. If a person happens to be living as a black woman who desires to be a black woman in a housing situation that is mixed, well, I mean, even mixed culture, because there's black women from different parts of the world, even that live in the United States. You're going to have some cultural mixing. You're going to have some language mixing. Black women speak a number of different languages, even in this country. We're not going to ever put up a sign talk about English only, although we're going to have to use some chat GPT and figure it out. But don't trip on that part. Focus on the main thing. Black women need somewhere where they're not going to be destroyed for being black and presenting women. That is the
And
challenge of the moment.
yeah,
We're not
and
going to
we
necessarily
can't.
undress folks. Are they going to provide? Are they going to survive our vetting? Now we're going to go on your social media because there's a difference between you presenting as a woman and purposely trying to infiltrate. So we're going to go back on there and see what you've been talking about for like the last 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But don't trip on that part. Focus on the main thing.
You know
Don't
what,
look at the
D?
black over there at the
Another,
sister's house.
another. I
You may
don't
not
put
survive the vetting
this.
either.
I don't put this part in explicitly, but again, it's just to everything you just said. Also, I'm gonna just bring up one little other thing. This whole thing with biracial children, stop it. That's what white hookers do. Let them not accept different
Oh
types of people
gosh.
because of
Why are we
whoever.
even?
Okay,
I forgot about
I
that.
don't. We're not doing any of that. Under, I just need y'all to understand that. And for those of you who feel like your well, my husband's a good man, or my I don't give a damn about who is a good man in your life. Good for you. You should have that. You should. Great. I definitely don't want you being around somebody that's not good for you. Okay? And they're not coming here. They're not. Those all of what I'm saying also applies to me. I don't get no special dispensation. I do happen to be married to a man.
Like
I
your
do have
husband can't
a
even
son.
come here.
Yeah, and they ain't coming. What they gonna do is precisely what the fuck I say. Period. And that is bend the knee to black women, femmes, and girls. That's it. So all of y'all who want to think you want to bring whoever and all that, good for you. You should go wherever people go. But we're not going to be spending our time going back and forth over some stupid shit. Oh, okay, a black man doesn't get that what we're talking about or some other shit, or he want to come and put something else different. Well, last time I looked, they ain't doing shit to stop black
I
women
forgot about
and
that
black
part.
girls from being murked. So I don't want to hear y'all shit.
We have, yeah,
We're not going to do it. But I will say, I do want to bring up something just
a
like,
very
I'm going to pull this back just really quick. When listen to what I want y'all to really pay attention to what I'm about to say, because I know we don't think this way, but over in GON we do. One of the first things that Auntie D talked about when we first started this episode was that shit, I just lost my train of thought. Damn. I hate it when that happens, y'all. I really do. My mind just went somewhere, skipped out on me. Um,
life. It
yeah,
happens.
and
But we
we
got
have
time.
so much stuff going on, but um, we are going to have to, we, I don't operate by the rules of a patriarchy. I know what they are. I just don't operate by them. So this is how deep defense actually goes. And this is something that's so important that this is what I was going to say. Erica Kirk, y'all, you know, it's very true. She did wrap her hands around in that man's head. And then he put his hand. Okay. Okay. That aside. Okay. So that, okay, go ahead, grown people with y'all dizzy asses, but whatever. What y'all don't get, black women, is who Erica Kirk truly is. You think, oh, it's just some gossip. Oh, look at that, and blah blah blah. And then, so we gonna spend however long going back and forth over what Erica Kirk said or didn't say, or how she uh had on skin tight clothes, some other shit. Girl, you don't know who she is, do you? You don't. Do you know who her mama is? Mama's a she. They do defense contracting. You know how they defense contractors make money? War. And when they're not doing that, they side hustle is trafficking children. She's considered royalty in the white sphere. That little girl, that little Erica, both of her parents, same shit. Now, I don't know if y'all know what it means to be an arms dealer, but there ain't shit they won't destroy. Huh? Did y'all know that? Did y'all even pay attention? That's why you need a defense system. Defense isn't just your physical self, it is your emotional self, it is your spiritual self, it is understanding how you perceive a thing, it's understanding the ways that you've been inducted into all of these people's bullshit. We so busy looking at how he had his hand there, or she had her hand in his hair, or some shit. Of course, they're gonna set it up. That's exactly what they used to do in England and France and whatever. They all put their little girls off in front of the so-called motherfucker. Y'all think that these white males are that? Oh, they're violent. You ain't seen shit. That girl walked right in because she was already running little Kirk over there, little
Yep,
Charlie.
she was the person who was in charge. If you really look into it, he was sort of
And
a
she
figurehead
about Israel. I don't know about what y'all think, but they got deals over there.
to the
Her
billions
mama
of dollars.
and
Yeah.
shit. Okay. So that we don't get that as black women, that we're spending our time looking at where the hand placement was or some other shit, that we don't get how that particular group are the ones writing policy. Their names, they are the Heritage Foundation.
Yep.
Legion are the Heritage Foundation. These white women walked right out here, what they call themselves Mounds of Liberty or some other bullshit. They walked right out of here and told you to your face, you ain't gonna be learning shit about your own history because you don't matter. In fact, the plans for you to be back enslaved. That's what them motherfuckers in Nevada and the Midwest. That's why they were so gung ho about getting rid of Hispanic and Latino people, because they were promised. If y'all had read Project 2025, huh? You know what they were promised where we in particular are concerned. That's why we as Black women are the first problem they say they're going to fix. That's where blackface comes in. Now, how y'all missing the point? Y'all are mad because the girl went and got some, I don't know, who knows, that bitch, ain't no telling what she had on her face. Girl, I don't know. That's no, there's things that are so much deeper than that. She doesn't get to do that because it directly causes us our fucking lives. Not just because we don't like hearing it. We die because of shit like that. Those farmers believed that we were going to be re-enslaved. That's why you had that little hooker over there. What's that one? What's that other hooker? Not the one that did blackface. The ugly things, pearly things. Her. That one, them two with the face thing on, they all just got out of having a fight amongst themselves. In fact, I think that one
Just pearly
was
things.
the one that the Four Legion. I did this whole thing on the Four Legion that tell everybody the Legion because they were all they were all fighting amongst themselves. That them girls, they in that same ilk with that pearly things, except they hate each other. Okay. One of them, and I think it was that one, they were all over there telling about each other business. That one, she sleep with black men. That one, she do too. But
Yep,
you
I
a
remember that
mama
came out.
baby, a baby mom, whatever the fuck. Oh, and didn't you get fingered at a Turning Point event? Again, Turning Point would be who? Charlie Kirk.
Erica and
And
Charlie.
who? Erica Kirk.
Yep.
And that little white girl, which one of them it was, uh, she was getting fingered in the lobby in front of children, family, at the Turning Point convention. But oh, they do a lot at the Turning Point convention, like the other conventions that they do. So while you sitting over here talking about how you don't want to be in the same room with a black femme or a queer black woman or whatever, the groypers, them little groypers, them ones that follow Nick Fuentes, they're the concubines, the males, I mean. See, white people have always seen, ever since they crawled out of caves about 6,000 years ago, whatever, they have always seen children as a part of the wages of war. They have always done it from Greece on to this very day. Epstein and all of that shit, that's just another iteration of the same shit. It's been their policy to specifically, of course, rape girls, but also boys.
It
Turn them
is
out.
actually was written down by the Romans. Boys, wives for legacy, boys for pleasure.
That's
It's
right.
actually written down. They have a philosopher literally wrote that down. I'm not going to put the name out there because I can't remember which one it was, but it's one of the bigger name ones.
And that's
This
not
was
about
their
being,
standing policy.
yeah, see, this isn't about being gay. This is about conquering.
This is
This is
about
about
if
instilling fear.
white
This is about
supremacy
making sure that you don't let go of your conditioning or you will be punished. That's what they keep in your mind. That's why you feel like you need to be in a box. But I'm telling you right now, please, black women, you have this ability. Go deeper. Stop looking at the surface of shit because you are your solution. You do understand that because there ain't nobody else coming. We're all we got.
and in saying that, again, former auntie, It feels like survival mode. Okay, it is true that if you look at the world around you and the evil going on and hearing about the evil that's going on, okay, GOM provides you an alternative. Look at the great things that Black women are doing together and can do together. We have a library of recommended books where you can read about Black women who are and have been doing amazing things for one another and for the world around them. So we're not just saying feed yourself up on, don't just read Project 2025 and stop.
Mm-hmm.
Learn about what you're capable of so you can do it for yourself and the Black women around you and for all of your children.
Mm-hmm.
It was 20 years ago, next year, because I'll be 45, that I had to stop us in their tracks. Talking about the way Black people were and how she didn't associate. I'm like, your child and their children look just alike. So if you don't work for the good of the women around you, if you look down on them, it will be your son or your daughter who ends up getting snatched up too. Well, that was 20 years ago. Project 2025 says that, yeah, the snatching is in progress. But you don't have to so much. GON is not where you're going to be constantly hearing about what's going wrong. GON is where you come when you're ready to get together with like-minded Black women and do things right. We have entrepreneurship pieces. We have investment pieces. We have tiny home pieces because we need communities that will be defensible.
Mm-hmm.
This is not somewhere where you're going to go and do and constantly have to be in the fight about, well, are Black women human, and trying to convince people who refuse to be convinced. Understand that Erica Kirk is not going to be convinced that she is not the representation of the mother of humanity. It is a waste of time to do this. She has parents and friends that can wipe you out for suggesting it. And there is at least some suggestion that Charlie Kirk may have said no about something one too many times. Suggestion. It's out there.
That was an arranged. That was an arranged thing. I don't know how many times I told y'all Black women. Yeah, that was an arranged marriage. It was right in place at the right time. They met in Israel. But let me tell y'all something. It's women like her who become the next Jenny Thomas or one of Robertson's wife or whatever. That is actually who runs the Supreme Court. If y'all didn't know. Those three, Alito, Robertson, and Thomas's wife, all Heritage Foundation. That Thomas's wife used to be a cult member. Now I want you to be understanding of this. She wasn't a cult member in the sense that she was just some little silly ass follower over there in the 80s, 90s, right? Well, 80s. The reason she got out is not the reason other people got out. Their family came and got them and deprogrammed or whatever the fuck that was. She was never programmable. She got out because they wouldn't allow her to run shit. So she went and she built her own shit. Heritage Foundation is a part of that with these other daughters of the Confederacy. So y'all can't tell me shit. And she comes from that exact same mama as Erica Kirk. You can't tell me anything. I be studying. I study myself and I study the people around me. I study my relationships, how I can make them better. And I also study my enemy. Because my enemy is the enemy of Black girls and Black children and children, period. See, hookers like them, they write the policies. That's what the Heritage Foundation hosted. They hosted the writers of Project 2025. So I want you to understand what this really is. And while we over here, again, not we, yep, which is heads in the sand in a red anthill. These motherfuckers is running amok. And it is our girls and our young black women and femmes who are paying the price for this shit. Get over your shit.
Daily.
Or don't.
Daily.
But the bottom line is, I know for me and for us over here in GON, we ain't gonna be doing all that. Okay? I already know what the fuck I know. I'm not looking at the shit just on surface.
We
I
have
am
our own standards and policies.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. We really do. We wrote them ourselves. We came up with all of this over time.
See, for GON, we have our own standards, policies, and procedures.
Mm-hmm.
It took great work and quite a bit of suffering and sacrifice over the last several years to develop. Just because there are so many black women who want to be governed by Erica Kirk, but are not, well, in essence, she's not by herself, but she's just able. Erica Kirk and Miller, people who don't care if you exist. And Miller allegedly would prefer you not. Instead of taking on, freedom really does require self-governance. As a person, you're not going to stay free long. I'll just give you an easy example. You're going to be in a hospital if you don't come up to the stoplight and look both ways, because green doesn't really help. Over here, we have what's called the California roll. Green doesn't really help. You have to govern yourself and make sure that everybody comes to a complete stop before you put yourself out in the street. You're about to die. I have been missed by about that much multiple times because DMVs, we have all the student drivers trying to figure out how to drive. So there's a law. They're not governing themselves by the law. They may not have mastery of the DMV book. You have to govern yourself, even if you assume a situation of good laws and everybody follows. In order for you to stay free and safe and alive, you have to govern yourself.
Mm-hmm.
GON is self-governing. I believe the term that you used originally was Matriarchate Democratic Council. About self-governance, black women coming together and deciding this is what we want in the spaces around us. And if black women were to decide to do that and change their spending, most businesses have a margin of 7%. Black women are 7% of the United States population, which basically means if we just stop buying from you, you do not exist. If we would govern ourselves. For you Christians, if we would judge ourselves, we would not be judged. But if we are judged if we are not chasing with the world. See, universal law kind of rolls over into a lot of places. See, if black women would govern themselves, it would not be as easy to use us for every project. It's not saying it would not be tried. But, Harriet Tubman decided she wasn't going to be governable in an unjust situation. She's going to break that mess up. Ida B. Wells said, no, you're not going to be lynching black men and women and children. I'm not going to be governed by that. And by the way, I'm going to sue the city of Memphis. You're going to take me off the back of this thing? You may win this suit today, but today is going to come because I'm going to set down the framework. You're going to change your little wicked law, and you're not going to be able to segregate it anymore. She didn't live to see it, but it did happen. And Ida B. Wells started that ball down the road.
Mm-hmm. And I want y'all to know something else, too. Ida B. Wells, kind of like a Jasmine Crockett is being trained by Maxine Waters, and Maxine Waters was trained by Shirley Chisholm.
Yeah, and Barbara Jordan.
Okay. Same thing with Ida B. Wells. She was trained and in the same circles with Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth.
Yep.
You
and
see?
many more whose names are
unfortunately
not.
Yeah. So I want y'all to understand, just like we did with the 92%, we have an ability. We didn't need to all come and talk to each other over here as black women to vote the way that we did. Let's recall, we were the ones who cleaned up the first fucking time. When we told you not to get with this motherfucker the first time, we were the ones who made sure that was all black women who got his ass out of there. And
Ruby
then all of
Freeman,
y'all went right back and got him.
Stacey Abrams. Yep.
You went right back. And now you coming back over here to black women for what? If you don't
And
take
see,
your silly asses,
it is
don't
time for
I
us.
dare you. I dare say something else. Say one more fucking thing. Don't come over all of you other demographics out there asking for shit from black women or black girls. Don't even look. You better not even be looking at black girls. But don't roll up on black women any fucking place in your real life, in your fake life, on social media, nowhere. Nowhere. Don't do it. That would be my advice. But go ahead. Because people are apt to do whatever. Stephen King said something during Storm of the Century, and I have never forgotten it. The demon that was walking around, who he was less of a demon than every other fucking person over there. That's exactly all he did was come through and go, okay, that one's a pedophile, this one's a this, that one's a that. Ain't none of y'all worth shit.
Well, I was about to
And
say,
give me what I
we've
want,
done
and
cleanup.
I'll go away. But what he said, one of the other things that he said was true. He said, hell, the concept of hell is actually repetition. We all know it. What's Project 2025? Repetition. What was our enslavement here? Repetition. Before that, black men handed us over to fucking Arabs and Asians. So don't sit here and tell me shit. Okay? I know exactly what they'll do, which is why we have to defend ourselves, which is why we have to protect ourselves. Okay? But if you're the type of black woman who wants none of the above, or you think you want to come over and tell that, absolutely the fuck not, girl, gone. You should be over wherever other people go that worship penises. Go for that. But you ain't gonna do it here, because just like in A Black Woman Centered said, you ain't gonna be abuse recruiting over here. You're not going to be setting up any other black women, black girls, or whoever to be fucked over by some other. No, absolutely not. So, yes, we are going to vet you. We definitely going to do that, because we have to maintain the safety and the sacredness, right? And you have an opportunity. There, I can see this. There's one person, I bet that's Kai, looking at this. Y'all asses probably all everywhere else. Did you hear what happened next? Did you hear what happened next? Girl, if you spent just literally 6 months working with another group of women who have your similar expertise, are you kidding me?
Whole different world. Whole
Whole
different
different
world.
world. But guess what? Y'all asses is wherever the hell else. Y'all at, we'll be going through things. Girl, I know all about going through things. But at the time you're going through things, and this is what you learn when you really read black women's own words. At the same time we go through things, we are still working towards a better future for the next generation. We have black women who were literally enslaved, had fucking masks put on their face and bits put in their mouth. White people put their excrement on those metal bits and put it in our mouths, because they didn't want us to eat the crop, or we said something they didn't like, or we look funny, or we was too dark for them that day. I don't fucking know what demons be thinking. But I don't get what we don't get. Why we're all acting all brand new. We are not brand new Louis. We know exactly what the fuck we're gonna do, which means we can have the solutions and we can stop the shit. But if you believe that you cannot, let me tell you something about your behaviors. Behaviors follow your beliefs. If you watch anybody, I don't care if you talk about Erica Kirk, them negative two Steves to the negative power, whatever. Yeah, I don't care who you talking about. This is the truth. Okay? Listen, hear me good, black women. people act based on what they believe.
So that brings me to, we're not going to get to it today, but see, you really need to understand the situation that you're in versus what you can be in. Situation is, you can be in a GOS getting together with like-minded Black women who are going to do the kind of work. But if you don't get into groups like this, Stephanie Perry is considered by some their Tubman of our time. She and Miss Rashida Dow, Sheeta's on the Loose, built the Exodus Summit. Do you know they had to leave? Do you know they had to leave Facebook because folks were trying to add their men and add their husbands and add their sons and other group demographics beside Black women? The group wasn't vetted. They had to do it after the fact, and it's very, very dangerous to do that afterwards, because no matter how much you do after people have gotten inside, getting people out is much harder. So be in a secure place, which brings me to something we're not going to get to today because we are at our projected time now. But we're gonna have to get up here and do, for those of you as Black women who think, okay, but I have a churched environment, I'm safe. We still got to do the Free Diddy show.
Oh God. Yes.
Whereby people who you think, like I
My
said,
head hurt
unvetted
just thinking
environments,
about it.
people who are in unvetted environments of Black women, are you safe? Are you safe? Oh, I'm surrounded by Black people. This is a Black community. No. Are you safe? Do you know? I got some church stories to tell too, of situations that I just got a phone call that people are receiving the error of their ways. But see, we're not just telling you these stories to make you feel like you're in survival mode. We're telling you there's an alternative that we are making available where you can build the infrastructure so that in your locale, you and other Black women and children will have a safe place to lay your head for a minute. We have an infrastructure for you to use. And of course, with these handbooks and style standards, policies, and procedures, you make of them what you need them to be. But you have something to be able to build with. If not, you take your chances. You take your chances in a world dominated by Stephen Miller and Erica Kerr country. You take your chances with unvetted Black women of the Free Diddy persuasion. I can't get into Auntie Love and I's private conversations, and we just gonna share what she's willing to share publicly when the time comes. But my mind was just, they've been in church how long? Wait, what? You're the only person who's not saved over there, and you're having to tell them that. So even traditional places that you think you're safe, and but even if you've been paying attention, you know, Marvin Winans, that pastor, let himself get online berating some Black woman for bringing what she had, which was 1,235,000 instead of the 2,000 he asked for. And a sister, Black sister, did a show called "He Laughed While She Cried." Obviously, they reamed him out. He got kicked all up and down the internet, but he still has money, and she doesn't. And she voluntarily did that because she did not know of another safe place for her to go. We're trying to get you past having to be in those environments because you don't feel like there's nothing else you can do, nothing else safe to build or have. So that we have spaces. That's what this is about. So we're introducing you to this concept today. We'll have more to say about it, but they'll just tell y'all, buckle up. Free Diddy show gonna be kind of wild. I know that we got our trigger warnings and other things because Auntie Love had an experience. And I'm just sort of sitting here listening like, wait, what?
Well,
and then it was the family gathering that was happening.
Yeah. For me, okay, we all know I see stuff as an experiment. This is one big lab, okay? Okay. But for me, I was just like, see, for me, my cousins that I grew up with as siblings, right? We have a very close relationship because, okay, again, we grew up together.
In a family now.
But somehow they missed the whole, they missed what Mud was saying. I don't know. So,
and all y'all have the same grandmother.
Okay, but most of my cousins, to almost 90% of them are quote unquote Christians, but churched. Okay. Okay.
Zero
So
knowledge.
I actually use my conversations with them, like, because this is the thing about me. Either I really don't get like the simplest thing because it goes over my head. It really does. My mind tends to need complications. You know, I need to make solutions. I need to complete puzzles. That's how my mind works. But but even though that's a part of it, right? You know, like this massive genius and intellect over here, there's this part of me that just doesn't make sense. What people do, it just sometimes doesn't make sense, and I need people to break it down for me because I really truly don't understand. But what you have to know about me is that if I'm asking a question, I'm either asking someone a clarifying question because I don't understand, right? So I'm trying to gather more information from that person, or I know exactly what's up. And then in that case, I'm only listening to hear whatever that person's going to say or whatever, how that's going to match up with their behaviors. But it's either one or the other. There is no lukewarm where I'm concerned. I either don't get a thing or
Are you?
I already know the answer. So whatever you about to say, the same thing I told y'all about Erica Kirk, all of those different little things that I know, that's because I did the deep dives and went and did some homework that most of y'all wouldn't do. But see, that's the type of hooker that's going to be writing policies about who? Us. She already is.
Us.
Us.
Uh, so we
That's
need
why
to
what we're
have,
saying is so
we need to.
imperative to this. It's not just about us coming together. It's about being able to not be judgmental because we need the differences between each other. What you guys have seen between me and Auntie D all of this time is two women who, yes, we have different religious beliefs, but our core values, one in particular, there is no negotiating with us, either one of us on this shit. You can't do shit to little children. You can't. I, I you can't.
We not no.
I don't give a fuck how y'all think it's normal or whatever y'all believe in, or oh, the patriarchy where the kids have to do this or that. I don't care, and I can't. I'm not speaking for Auntie D, but I'm telling you, this is a core value for both of us. You're done. This is the sweetest woman ever. You understand me? And I don't do it. Whatever you do, run, jump, girl. You on
Find you
fire.
a hiding
You need to stop. Yeah,
place. Run.
drop
Go
stuff and roll,
run.
girl. You on
To
fire.
find you a hiding
Yeah.
place. Find your hiding place. Don't do it. Don't do
Like
it.
the rest
We
of
not.
their common motivation is to jack black women, black girls, and black femmes. Well, our common motivation over here is to stop the suffering of children at the
Got
hands
to
of
do
you
that.
adults.
Ugh.
So
We,
we will come at it at these different directions. That's what we do. But when we're talking about GON, we're trying to also show you by our own behaviors. You can go back and check us out, what we've been saying and doing this whole time. Okay. I never want people to just believe me. Go take the data and look at it. But I also want to make sure you guys understand this. You're seeing us evolve because D and I never stopped studying. Neither is Kai. But we never stopped studying. Okay. Because we really understand we don't know everything. Not even close, not even gonna. Okay. But that
not
doesn't
even
mean we
enough
don't
to
work
meet tomorrow's
toward it.
situations.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
So
we don't know what
yeah,
tomorrow's
one of
situation
the
we
things
can
y'all are
face
seeing
immediately.
me do now is express myself in a wholly different way. It's not well, it's different to y'all. I've written fantasy books before, but now you're seeing these beautiful cinematic renderings. And if y'all need to escape for a moment, those are good to watch. If y'all want to know some books that you can get, we have what we call Shots Library, And there's all types of books that we've made as recommendations, and all of that. Typically we don't recommend stuff we haven't read. And yes, there's thousands of books. But don't let that bother you, okay? Okay. But we try to work on the cinematic version to make it much more interactive, and that like the books will come down at you and things. You already seen some of it. There are some educational things already in there for little Black girls, so that they know what we call the me know episodes. That means our mothers, meaning the women before us, right? So the Ida B. Wells, the Harriet Tubmans, all of these women, Bethune, all of these women. I want little Black girls to meet them. So I did these special cinematic versions just of that. Okay. But the images are very beautiful because Black women, Black girls, and Black families are very beautiful to me. They're very powerful because to me, Black women, Black families, Black girls are very powerful. Yes, it does involve our ancient history coming forward. And yes, we did create a new language. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. She should have not written me a theme song. I'm gonna just tell you right now, Cardi B. She didn't wrote me a theme song. But we put those things together because we started to realize, right, Auntie D, that people believe they haven't ever seen this before. But but Black women, Black girls, and Black families are walking all around them. And so it's not true that you guys haven't seen this beauty before. We're all right here being this brilliant, this beautiful, this creative.
Recognize it in
yeah.
yourself.
So I want you guys to use it for that. I want you to self-soothe. I want you to share it with Black girls. I want you to see some of what I know to be true. Okay? I want you to accept that you are preternaturally elemental powers. That's why we're doing that. Okay? We're not even going to start the storyline yet. There's a whole storyline I was starting, but I'm not even going to do that yet, right? Auntie D, because as the matriarch think core leadership told me this weekend, we think we're going to have to keep doing this until people get more and more used to, especially us as Black women, Black girls, and Black femmes, that this is who we are. We are this beauty. We are this brilliant. We are this creative. We are this incredible. We are this compassionate. We are very interconnected, telepathic in ways. We don't have to say nothing, girl. We can look at each other. We know exactly what each other's thinking, never seen each other in our lives. But can we? That's because we have some ancient settings. So we want you to use that. We want you to use those cinematic things to help calm your central nervous system. Okay? And see yourself in those images. See how extraordinary you are. Okay? So that's my story. I was sticking to it. I know we
That's
at our
actually a good place because y'all can see all these beautiful things on you see it scrolling across the screen. You see all the beautiful things on the YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn channels for GON of BWFG. So go over there and have a look. And we're gonna release you to go do that because, like I said, I have to make this other meeting. Folks figured out about their time and dates. We gonna do stuff in the middle of the afternoon. Mothers have to get to work at a certain time and they need to have their kids in the places. We gonna do what now? No, see, switch you up now. See, the thing about this, Aunt Love and I ain't gonna be doing the darn thing, whether you choose to do the darn thing or not. But if you want to be in an environment and help build an environment where you're not always by yourself, if you are this person who is always the one doing the darn thing, then come check out GON.
Please.
If you are not ready for all that, that's okay. Go get ready. Please don't wait till Erica and Steve, the two Steves, get you ready to their negative second vows. You don't need to wait for that. But if it takes that, and then you're ready after that, okay, then go on and go through our vetting process and so on. And that is a good place for us to stop today's Noir Auntie. The Free Diddy show is down the road. We're going to have to kind of get ready for that. But because, Tory lost his appeal, so we can then talk about little Tory too in the whole thing and showed up for his appeal and who's mad. There's a lot of this predation that continues to go on inside our community, but we don't have to deal with that either. So we just say the punchline of that one. Check out GON. I'd love thank you for going through the Restream remake that we ain't looked at for 6 months. They out here doing something different. Thank you for getting this together.
Okay, it's all kinds of buttons in here. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's not even saying what it is.
What am I even looking at? What am I got in there? I'm like, what? First of all, internet, no, I ain't trying to do that for. And then I'm like, what am I even looking at? Wait, what?
And why did you move the
internet? Just went.
Girl, we gotta get reacclimated, into it with Restream. Please forgive me, because it was me who could remember. I've been pushing, but I'm like,
come back soon, so we don't forget what we saw.
Yes. Come
when the cable started coming across the screen, that's when I knew it was just like, yeah, we're gonna have to not do this in 4 months. We probably 4 weeks max when you come back, so we can remember how to do this. Because is like, we ain't even trying to help y'all. We trying to figure out who Erica Kirk gonna have her. We trying to get her fingers in our hair. We not trying to help y'all sisters, but y'all saw that we overcame, right? Because that's what we do. So we'll see y'all next time on Noir Aunties.
Yes, we will.
In the meantime, you see it. Go check it out.
Thank you, everyone. Share, like, subscribe. We rolling, girls. Rolling out here. Okay.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Have a great time, y'all. Thank y'all.
Baby sis is gonna be like, "Where's she at?" No, I gotta go. But I'll see y'all. See you later, and see y'all later on Noir Aunties.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Love y'all.
Thanks for coming.